Good evening, everybody. It's 7 o'clock, so we will call the April 15th Common Council meeting to order, and I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Alderperson Grisham. Here. Grote. Here. Haas.
Here.
Halverson.
Here.
Keen. Here. Novak. Here. Nolan. Here. Rote.
Here.
Turner.
Here.
Weigel.
Here.
10 present.
We have a quorum. Please rise if you are able and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led this evening by Alderman Grisham. Thank you. We will move on to item D. We have one public hearing this evening, and I will ask the clerk to read out that report.
Resolution to confirm and adopt the report of the city engineer containing the schedule of proposed assessments for improvement of various streets by concrete reconstruction.
Thank you very much. I'll turn it over to staff. Mr. Hutter.
Hi, I am the Assistant City Engineer. My name is Rob Hutter. I'm going to go through our public hearing for the 2025 reconstruction of South 90th Street from West Durham Avenue to West Dakota Street, and for West 2th Avenue from South Orleans Avenue to South Osage Avenue. This is some of the information, or our information of the city engineer and the assistant city engineer. At the end of the slideshow, I'll put this information back up if you want to take a picture or write it down. For this public hearing, the way that the procedure is for the public hearing is we talk about the project scope, or I talk about the project scope and the cost. I'll talk about the assessment rates and payment methods. We will then get questions or comments from the Common Council and the citizens affected. Then the public hearing will be closed and the project will be referred to the Public Works Committee and for discussion and vote, and then the final decision will be by the full Common Council. If you have specific questions about your property, like can I get a bigger driveway? Can I, is there a sidewalk that'll be replaced? We ask that you ask those questions either after the meeting or take down our information. We can answer those specific questions separately. So we have a few pictures of the street. The condition of the road it's called Macadam Road. It's a very old method of paving. These roads do not have curb and gutter, and they are in pretty severely deteriorated. Our utilities underneath the road, our water mains on the streets are from the 60s. Those will stay in place. We have copper water laterals, so there's not lead laterals. There is new storm sewer main will be installed on West 2th Avenue, and storm laterals, which is a pipe from the main to your property, will be constructed. The sanitary sewers are 85 years old, and so new sanitary sewers will be constructed, as well as new sanitary laterals will go to the property. Our underground costs are paid for by our underground, our sanitary storm and water utility. So the special assessment rate is the same regardless of the underground work. So special assessments, I give a kind of a sample special assessment for the width of the lot, the assessment rate, and again, this is kind of a sample cost. Those assessment bills would be mailed out in about a year. And the payment for that assessment can be a lump sum. It can be a 5-year or a 10-year installment plan. The installment plans do have an interest rate, which is what the city pays to borrow the money. So the city's not making money off of that interest rate. Our special assessment information, for over 110 years, city property owners have paid or helped pay for the cost of a new street. And the people, there are many tax exempt properties in West Dallas, around 400. And the way that the special assessment works is that those properties do have to pay their special assessment rates. So this way everyone is treated equally and everyone contributes to the cost of the road. We have the special assessment rate up there, and if there are commercial or manufacturing, those rates are higher. The approximate cost of the project, 90th Street, the approximate cost there is around $400,000. And Stuth Avenue, being longer street, is right around that 1.1 million figure. This chart shows how the costs are distributed by the city, and you can see it's a distribution between our underground utilities, citywide property taxes, and the special assessments. Our construction schedule, the road, the design is being finalized. It will go to bid here in spring, and it would be constructed in mid to late summer and into the fall. Before any construction begins, residents will be given notice via U.S. mail. Just a little bit of construction information. We do coordinate trash pickup with our Department of Public Works when the road is not open. Residents will be notified of any changes with door hangers. Parking when we try to keep the street open as long as possible and driveways open as long as possible. When it's not accessible, residents will be able to park on adjacent streets without getting a permit or without getting tickets. Again, construction information will be mailed to residents. If there are changes, door hangers or letters will be sent. And again, if you have specific questions, please contact the engineering department. We also online have a construction in progress report. That report is updated once or twice a week, and it gives pretty detailed information on what the next steps are in construction. And that concludes my part of the public hearing, and I'll leave my information and the information of our city engineer up on the screen.
Thanks very much, Mr. Hutter. Are there any questions from the Common Council on our public hearing this evening? Seeing none, are there any questions from the members of the audience on this public hearing item? And if there is, just let me know, and then you'd use this podium microphone next to our city attorney if you wish to speak. Okay. There's no public questions from the public. We will close public hearing number 1, and we will go right to item E on our agendas. This is where the council may receive information from the public. During this 30-minute period of our agenda, each speaker must use the same podium and microphone I referenced earlier. Please give us your name and address for our official record, and we ask that you limit your comments to one statement of no longer than 5 minutes. Council cannot take action on topics raised by the speakers and cannot discuss the topics raised by the speakers because most likely what you're bringing up is not on our agenda, and we can't go into discussion and debate during this part of the agenda. So I see we have one up already. We will begin. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Lynn Gunderson, and I live at 1716 South 72nd Street in West Dallas. I would like to address my concerns about a new business, Tea for Two, located at 1825 South 72nd Street, also formerly known as West Stallion Brewery. This is a residential neighborhood and is not welcomed by the surrounding neighbors. 2, not following West Dallas city rules. The noise is way beyond the decimal point and continues into early morning hours. Neighbors are trying to get sleep after 10 p.m. and can hear the bass blasting so loud it vibrates their house. One neighbor went down there to talk to them, and a woman believed to be the owner or manager, I was told, had an attitude. She told him to go ahead and call the police. They won't do anything anyway, so deal with it. 3, permits. I guess they don't think they need any. Contacted Planning Zoning Department, talked to Emily Wagner. She told me the only permit they had was just issued on April 3rd for permanent occupancy. Again, not following city rules. Tell me, how can this place run without the correct permits? No seller's permit? Need one of those to buy their THC seltzer. Not sure what else they are selling there, but I can bet they probably don't have permits for that either. 4, I noticed activity back in December of 2024. No signage outside, but I saw people working inside the building with a light show going on. I knew something was coming, and looking on their Facebook page, they were having a grand opening on 12/27 of '24. Attached in the email is a photo of their grand opening. I was informed they were applying for a fast occupancy permit the day before to have a New Year's Eve party. Sure glad that got denied. 5, suspicious activity going on. There's a video on Facebook on April 12th at 11:12 p.m. of some guy without a shirt playing on the soundboard. I don't even want to know what he's wearing or anything below. Not acceptable in any establishment I've ever been in. 6, there's no parking, only street, which means residents who have paid for parking permit will have to park where and if they can for the night. 7, last but not least, the big one. Hours of operation. They're advertising on Facebook for an upcoming event on May 10th, 2025, Banana Bash, 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. 4 a.m., really? On Tuesday, January 14th, 2025, I went to the Common Council meeting at 7 p.m. to speak on behalf of the neighbors concerned and mine. Scheduled that night was a new application for a Class B tavern license. I printed the summary, and it listed the hours of operation Sunday through Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 a.m. Far cry from what they're operating now. The applicant who was applying was a no-show that night. I feel the city was blindsided by this business of what they were proposing and believe they think they can do whatever they want and have no rules to follow. This business brings no value or need for this type of business and has many reports filed on them. I would like to thank all my wonderful neighbors who signed the petition, Mayor Devine, the entire Common Council, Police and Fire Department, Health Department, Planning Zone and Code Department, and all others if I missed, for their help and understanding in this ongoing situation. Please shut this place down for good. We don't want it here, now or any time in the future. Thank you.
Thanks for your comments. Does anybody else wish to address the council under public participation?
Good evening, council members. My name is Celia Meisel, and this is my husband, Ryan Meisel. We've proudly rented our home at 1752 South 72nd Street for the last 5.5 years. We've grown to deeply appreciate the West Dallas community and the neighborhood that we call home. It's been a joy to witness the growth of local businesses, especially when that growth enhances the quality of life for our residents. Unfortunately, a recent business addition has done the opposite. Earlier this year, a nightclub opened at 1825 South 72nd Street. Since then, our lives and our ability to rest peacefully in our home have been disrupted. Every Friday and Saturday night, and sometimes on weeknights, loud bass from the club can be felt and heard inside of our home, starting as early as 9:15 p.m. and continuing until 4 a.m. My husband and I were actually leaving for a spring break trip a couple weeks ago, getting up to get on the road early, and the music was still going after 3:30 a.m. that morning. We could still hear the bass levels. This isn't an isolated incident. T42, the business in question, actively promotes on their Facebook page high-energy beats, heart-pounding bass, and after-hours DJ sets. And these are advertised to run as late as 4 a.m., all in a neighborhood surrounded by families, children, and individuals with health concerns. I personally manage multiple autoimmune conditions, which are worsened by stress and sleep disturbances. On nights when the club is open, my husband and I go to bed anxious, uncertain if we'll be able to sleep, and there have been multiple sleepless nights because of this nightclub.
We tried to resolve this issue, and on April 5th, I went to the club down the street, and I spoke with the owner. I was very polite, and she was also polite. She shared that the police have responded to 6 noise complaints after I asked, has anything been done about the noise? She responded that we're doing everything within our legal limits, and I wanted to know what those were, and it wasn't a pleasant conversation. When I mentioned that this is a residential area and there are neighbors within feet of this business, she mentioned that no, this is zoned for industry. And that's when I said, well, I'll be calling the police then. And she said, go ahead, they're not going to do anything. That was very disheartening, and I left after that. While we understand that businesses serve their customers, we also believe that they have a responsibility to respect and support the communities that they operate in. We're not asking to shut down the business, we're just asking to turn down the base and reasonably consider a collaboration between us and them. I would like to not feel the base while I'm trying to fall asleep in my bed. We respectfully ask that you take these concerns into account as you consider future permits and oversight related to this establishment. We believe there's a path forward that allows local businesses to thrive while pursuing and preserving the peace and well-being of the West Dallas residents. Thank you for your time and your service to our community.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to address the council under public participation?
Hi, my name's Joel Mueller. My address is 300 Maurice Drive in Union Grove. I'm speaking today about a project that was bid last week. The engineering department was recommending it not going to the lowest bidder due to a technicality where we didn't sign the bid bond. Well, I respect their decision, and I think it's good for their integrity. I'm speaking on behalf of myself and also as the superintendent of state contractors. I've been in the concrete industry for 25 years as a finisher and foreman. This is the first year I've taken over the responsibility of bidding, and it's been an ongoing learning experience. When I sent the bid to the city, I did not sign the bond, and I apologize for that. I did not do this on purpose or with any ill will. It was a technical error that I overlooked. State contractors and myself has never tried to back out of a bid, and I can tell you that I'll never not sign a bid bond again. This has been a learning experience for me, and we would like to get the job that we bid. I can tell you in the last week I've learned a lot about the bonding and contract process, and looking through it according to Quest, which is the secure online bidding service. In the user agreements, it does say electronic signatures for various purposes, including bidding on projects and accessing the patient portal. These electronic signatures, like clicks or sections, are legally binding and the equivalent to handwritten signatures. An online bid ID acts as a digital signature for submitting a bid. Electronic signatures on agreements and documents have the same effect as if you sign them in ink. Again, I apologize for not signing, and with that, I believe it would be advantageous for the city and its constituents to accept our bid as proposed. It would save the taxpayers $51,462 and keep the project under the proposed budget. Thank you for your time, and I hope we can move forward.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else that wishes to address the council under public participation?
Hi, my name's Linda Lampy. I live at 1943 South 77th. I live across from an empty lot. It used to be called American Steiner's, and that was contaminated. When they tore it down, they did all this. They tried cleaning it up. Now I seen a gentleman there a few weeks ago with a company doing samples of the land to see if they're still contaminated. He told me he wants to build a 24-hour BP gas station on that lot, 24 hours. Now, this is a residential neighborhood. 3 sides around it are all houses. Next door to me is an autistic child. Across the street is another child, 3 years old, doesn't talk, runs out in the street all the time. And there's a blind man that walks from 79th and Rogers up Hicks to the bus stop. Now, if they put a gas station there, that's gonna be very busy. It's already, I tried years ago getting a stop sign on that street because it's a racetrack from 76th Street down to 81st. And I had 100 signatures and they turned it down. Now it's gonna happen with, and it's a no trucking street, with fuel trucks coming in. There's gonna be I'm sorry, drug activity, people breaking into the cars that are on the street, because from my street all the way down the block, down to Rogers, it's overnight parking, all cars. What's going to happen with the runoff of all that concrete over there? And the rats, and they're right next to the train tracks. I can feel it, and I'm a block from the train, all that vibration. So I'm just here to try and stop whatever is going, because the guy told me, as long as it's not contaminated, he's going to put in a 24-hour BP gas station. So I'm here ahead of time, trying to not have it approved. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody? No, never mind.
Sorry. I'm Dave Reski. I'm Linda's neighbor. I live at 1942 South 77th Street. I'm just going to talk about the same lot. My aspect's a little bit different, though. I did a little bit of looking, and this is because it really hasn't gone very far yet, so I haven't wasted a whole lot of my time on it. But from that property, within 1 mile, there's 10 gas stations. You go to 1.5 miles, it's 18. So I don't see that being a very good thing to put there. It just doesn't fit the neighborhood. And when I was watching them do the testing, they somehow mysteriously did not test the corner that they injected the chemicals to break that chemical down, which I believe is perk. It's not my property. I don't know for sure if they're even going to tell me. But that part of the lot that was heavily contaminated wasn't tested. They kind of tested the like 30 feet away from it. Don't know if that makes a difference. I'm sure it does, but they just kind of did it real weird. So I also can't really think of anything else to go there, but a gas station would not fit that neighborhood. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to address the council?
Hi, my name is Esteban Quinones. I do not personally live in the area, but I am a frequent participant of the Tea for Two venue. And I just want to first address, as far as raves go, there's this thing, it's called PLUR. It's peace, love, unity, and respect. And I want to apologize for anyone who has had a hard time with the
Mr. Quinones, you got to actually address the council directly. You can't address the crowd. Sorry. Or at least face me when you're talking.
Gotcha. Sorry about that. Anyways, I apologize, and we apologize. T for Two is currently working on installing soundproofing, so that there will be no longer any of this heavy bass. But here's the point here. As a member of the EDM scene, seeing the evolution of raves from the late 80s to present, it has been a haven for outcasts and misfits. My generation is now beginning to take the torch, and T for Two is just one example of how far raving has come from the illegal underground gatherings to now being able to enjoy music and dance in a safe, legal, and most importantly, alcohol-free setting. If T for Two shuts its doors, there will no longer be a venue in Milwaukee for young adults to safely and legally gather in mass to enjoy music until the sunrise. And that will be it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to address the council under public participation? Anyone else? Okay, then that will close public participation. And we will move to item F on our agendas. Our standing committees will be meeting during recess. Those room numbers are listed on the top of page 2 of the agendas. They will be in room 128 down the hallway or in the art gallery downstairs. So if you are here for a license or a permit or some type of city business and you're not sure where to go when we break for recess, please ask one of us and we'll get you into the right room. We'll move on to item G, the mayor's report. Just one quick thing I want to just give a thank you and a shout out to our staff in tourism, events, communications, and economic development. We did a community development breakfast last week that was focused on empowering women entrepreneurs, and we had several local business owners giving presentations on starting businesses and expanding businesses in the city. And we had over 200 attendees, and a lot of our staff, which I don't want to start naming names because I will inevitably forget somebody, but they put in a lot of hours, and we held this event at the Gauge down on 70th Street, and it just was empowering and excellent, and I just think it was a great showcase for a lot of what's happening in West Allis and the direction the community's going. And it was a very powerful morning with a lot of great connections and stories shared and commiseration in some cases. But it was a great event, and I just want to take a minute to thank not only the entrepreneurs in West Allis for being panelists and speakers at this, but also our staff for putting it together. So, and lastly, she doesn't even live in West Allis, but I gotta wish my mom a happy 81st birthday today. We'll move on to item H, the alderperson. Thanks. She'll appreciate that. Now I got to show her the tape. We'll move on to item H, the alderperson's report. Are there any reports from the alderpersons tonight?
Mayor Devine.
Alderwoman Keene.
This Saturday, Friends of La Follette Park are having their pancake breakfast and Easter egg hunt. Breakfast will be served from 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. in the upper level of the pavilion. All you can eat pancakes, sausage, and a beverage. Then at 11 a.m. sharp, they're going to be having an Easter egg hunt, so kids 11 years and younger are invited to participate. Bring a bucket or a bag, and it does start at 11 a.m. sharp, and those kids go nuts, so do not be late. Yes, that's all I had, thank you.
Thank you. Any other alderpersons reports?
Mayor Devine?
Alderman Weigel.
Not a report, but I believe that many people are here in the audience for item number 48. That's the entertainment license for Petrichor. I think they're under the impression that that meets in 128, but it is the Economic Committee, so it is downstairs in the Art Gallery. So if you're here about 1825 South 72nd Street, you're going to want to be downstairs during a recess. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other reports from the alderpersons? Nope. All right.
Mayor Devine.
Alderman Haas.
I move for approval of the Common Council minutes of our March 18th, 2025 and April 3rd, 2025 meetings.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any? No, I think Alderman Haas made the motion. So who got the second? All right, seconded by Alderperson Grisham and thirded by someone else. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to just let the clerk make this call. Yeah. Is there any discussion or changes to the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved. We'll move to item J, our standing committee reports. We have one under Public Works. Alderman Rote.
I'd like to send item 4 back to committee.
Okay. Is there any objection?
Mayor Devine?
Yes.
Being there is such a big interest among all council members, is this something that we could consider maybe doing a committee of the whole on instead of just back to committee, Alderman Rote?
I have no problem with that.
Okay.
You don't mean tonight, do you?
No.
Okay.
No,
We can't
that
do
in the
that.
future, because obviously we've had it in committee already, and I think there's just been a large interest among all of the council members. So
Okay.
I think a committee of the whole would be
So
okay
then-
if President Haas says it's okay.
Sounds good to me,
There's no
Alderwoman
objection.
Grisham.
We'll
Yep.
just refer items 4 and 5 to committee of the whole agenda. Is there any objection? All right. So ordered, or so moved. We'll move to item K, consent agenda. Alderman Haas.
Yeah, do any alderpersons wish for separate action on any items within our consent agenda? Then seeing none, I move for approval of item K, our consent agenda.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. If there is no discussion, I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Aye.
Alderpersons Grisham. Grobe.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Helverson.
Aye.
Keen.
Aye.
Novak.
Aye.
Noling. Aye. Rote.
Aye.
Turner.
Aye.
Weigel.
Aye.
10 in favor, 0 opposed.
Motion carries.
Mayor Devine.
Alderman Haas.
I move that the council stand in recess until the conclusion of our committee meetings.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are in recess.
You did rocks?
Yeah.
And I want everybody. Alderman Rose first.
We'll call Public Works to order. All 5 members are here.
Are we live?
We will, are we?
Yep.
We are now.
Hey.
There we go.
Good catch.
We will start with item 39, ordinance 2025-0038, ordinance to create parking restrictions on West Hayes Avenue from South 102nd Street to South 108th Street.
I move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 40, final resolution authorizing public improvement concrete construction, concrete reconstruction, and/or asphalt resurfacing in various locations and levying special assessments against benefited properties.
Move to approve.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 41, resolution 2025-0637.
43, I'm sorry. You said 41 again.
Oh, see,
You're going in reverse, Alderman.
I got a different one than you guys got.
No, that's downstairs in the gallery.
Is that the one, we amended the agenda?
We have an amended agenda, and there's an item 40, the public hearing item, which we need to do also.
All right.
Here's an extra copy.
Of the amended one, okay.
Oh, let's see how
Yes,
Suzette's
there
on
you are.
top of these things.
You're just
It should be on there.
like
double check.
radar on MASH.
Right on.
Otherwise, is yours going to be the amended version though too?
What is,
Because
You
we
tell me.
changed.
what is 2025-0637?
These are from you and from here. I didn't
Okay, it's
print my
43,
own.
okay, I'll start.
43, just like Chad said.
Okay, item 43, resolution 2025-0637, correct? Resolution to approve an amendment to the private agreement between the City of West Dallas and Walter Holtz of the DECO at 7140 West Greenfield Avenue for use of designated portion of South 72nd at Pedestrian Mall.
Chairman Rowe. I don't know anything about this, really. Is there anybody to speak about
pull it up,
what
yeah.
this
Yeah, please
amendment
do.
is about?
Give me a sec.
I'm sorry,
Kale
you were ready to
emailed
say
to us
something.
earlier about this.
Yeah.
So there are only 2 substantive amendments are contained in this version. The addition of the following in paragraph 6, quote, "Holds shall provide access to a restroom, a porta-john or restroom within 7140 West Greenfield Avenue during the hours of 6 a.m. to midnight." And then the deletion of the following in paragraph 7, quote, "Holds has obtained a special event permit for the date and time of the event that lists the pedestrian mall as the premises for that permit," end quote.
Okay.
Thank you.
I do have something to add and just a question regarding this. I think in the original, or this even amended version, is there any language that was pertaining to that any city events supersede any of those events that are taking place? Because I don't see that in
You mean like a la
contract.
carte?
Yeah, a la carte, the
Car
car
show?
show, all of those things. I mean, it's a standing,
Yeah.
it's an understanding, but it's not actually written.
I know we have it for the new Emerald.
Right, and I don't know for sure. It was brought to me by another alder just to ask that question, but I didn't see
Yeah.
that that language is included, and I think it should.
We certainly could hold it till Kale gets here, or are we Kale-less?
I think their committee meetings are gonna
Go
surpass
long?
ours.
Yeah, and I don't want to hold it up, but I don't think there's any real urgency. Is there for Wally?
I mean, according to the addition and deletion, I mean, I would assume no, but I haven't talked to him.
Okay. I just think that it's important that we
No,
have that language in
I think
there.
it's a good idea, for sure.
Yeah. And the fact that, because when we discussed it originally, it wasn't like we had to give notice and things like that. If there is a city event where we need that space, that we would utilize that space.
Yeah, and I understand having it written down too, because he does know, like, those are the dates not to have anything, like, he doesn't
Right.
book those weekends, but you want to have that extra insurance just in case.
I think so.
Okay.
And he seems to have worked well with us during
I think he has.
during those events.
I mean, we can always, if we needed to, bring it back and re-amend that part of it, correct? Or should we just wait? I don't want to make it complicated, like I said. It would have been nice if Wally was here. I know it was
I
probably,
was gonna say,
it was
if you
just
could
a
tell us
simple.
if this was like something
Yeah.
that he needs now
Yeah.
versus like if it can get kicked down the road for a second.
Right.
Yeah, I think the answer is we can wait. I mean, he's building his own thing. It's
Right, right.
Yeah.
They're progressing with events there. I
Okay.
think that this can wait, and even until the next meeting, and we can get this resolved.
Okay.
So we'll hold
Make
item
a-
43
yeah,
then.
motion to
Okay,
hold.
we'll hold it. Okay, now, and we're still like, I'm good now, right? Okay, 44?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-0807, resolution to approve bid of State Contractor Incorporated for street reconstruction in West Orchard Street from South 60th Street to South 63rd Street and West Mineral Street from 60th Street to 64th Street in the city of West Dallas in the amount of $1,991,053 $39. Boy, that's a hard one to say.
That was a lot.
It was almost like my tax bill. Jeez. Recommendation is to reject. This was the gentleman that was out here.
Yep.
Okay,
I think Mr. Hutter has something to say.
okay, go ahead.
No?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I had a question just as I was listening to the gentleman speak. I know that there's obviously strict rules to applying and whatnot, and obviously a very hard lesson for him and his company to learn. Just for us, for our knowledge, when that's done, we don't change things back. That's a question, actually. Or can you tell me any history where we may have had this happen before and we reconsidered?
Well, since we've gone to online bidding, which I want to say is maybe eight years, before that we would open the bids in person and they were all paper. So then when you open the bid, you would see that mistake and it could be corrected. So then when we went to online bidding, we have not had this happen before.
Okay, so, and would there have been any reconsideration or it was already solidified?
In the past, I don't recall the specific situation where it happened in the past.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And this is what our Kale kind of recommended to bring it to council because it's the error is not a major error,
Right,
and that's why we wanted to bring it to council.
okay.
So, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Alderman Haas.
Yeah. And Rob, I want you to outline our options for us. And I guess I'll start with what my understanding is and tell me where I'm wrong if I'm wrong. Well, we have a bid process. The winning bid is a defective bid. And so then we're going to the second place bid, which is the best non-defective bid. if we were to accept the defective bid, well, what's our remedy? My understanding is our remedy is if we want to take that defective bid, we have to rebid the whole thing because now that's unfair to the second place bid. And they could sue us for, they could have a potential legal action against us. Tell me about that. What?
Then, from my understanding, from what Kale has said, that accepting the defective bid would not cause a potential lawsuit.
Okay.
Would not.
All right. That's good. That's what I want to hear.
Right, right.
I wish, I don't know if I can get Kale here to explain it a little better, because that's more his expertise than mine.
But yeah, you and the city attorney have discussed this, and so you know the background better than all of us, and so what you're saying is certainly good enough for me.
So we won't get in trouble.
He had said legally.
We won't get in trouble if we accept
the defective.
Okay, so if I may,
Please.
Chairman Rowe, on this one, this is not the gentleman who spoke, or it is the gentleman who spoke? Okay.
He's from state contractors. The low bid that was,
Defective.
Yeah. So.
Okay, Kevin, re-explain this to me.
Yep. So good. I feel good about this now, better than what I felt about before. That based on what we're getting from Mr. Hutter, is that if we accept the defective bid, acknowledging that it's an exceedingly minor defect, it was just missing one signature. We've heard testimony in the council chambers that the bidder intended to affix their signature there, and there may have even been an electronic signature. We don't have to get into the weeds and go into the specifics on that. Yeah, my concern is, does this open up ourselves to problems from the second lowest bidder? And if the answer is no, well, then I have no problem with accepting the bid of item 44 of state contractors, and then in conjunction with that, rejecting item 45.
Okay, so those two, yes.
They go together.
Okay, all right.
And you're sure he said it?
I would assume, if I may, nothing, it's not approved until it comes to us anyhow.
Look, it
Right.
came to us right now.
Right, exactly, meaning
Until-
that there wouldn't have been any legal ramifications prior to, unless we said yes, and then there was some rejection.
And even,
And they were 50 grand cheaper.
even taking
Yes.
it a step further, let's say, although we are doing it without the city attorney in the room, we can rescind the action at the next meeting if we think that.
If need be, if there was an error.
The city attorney finds there's there's a
Okay.
big problem here, which
Okay.
I don't anticipate the, hey.
Oh, hey, okay. All right.
Okay, is there a motion?
So I move that we accept, rather than reject, we accept the bid of state contractors on item 44.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Work on rain days, okay?
Won't happen again.
He knows
Hard lesson to learn, but yeah.
Pretty good. I was in the trades.
Yeah, that's right, he knows. Yeah.
Okay, now it's 45.
Motion. Oh,
Item 45, Resolution 2025-0650, resolution to approve bid of Wandell Contractors for street reconstruction in West Orchard Street from South 60th to South 63rd and West Mineral Street from South 60th to South 64th in the city of West Allis in the amount of $2,042,515.95. Now, this one,
I move to reject item 45.
okay.
second.
Been a motion to reject, moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
And then Dan, nope, not yet.
No,
We can't
we only
adjourn
have
yet.
that add-on.
We have item 40, the public hearing item.
Okay.
Item
I gotta
40.
find that here now, it's on the new one, okay.
Yep.
Okay, now we have, thanks, Kevin. Now we have item 40, resolution 2025-0526, resolution to confirm and adopt the report of the city engineer containing the schedule of proposed assessments for improvements of various streets by concrete reconstruction.
I move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none.
You know, I'm going to discuss something. It's going to be nice to have curbs and gutters and concrete and everything.
And the old McAdam asphalt.
Right. I've always wondered why that part of West Allis didn't have curbs and gutters, and we're finally getting
had
through.
horse and carriages?
It's still just, yeah.
And McAdam,
Never know.
McAdam's asphalt was designed for temporary runways during World War II in the Philippines.
Interesting.
There you go. I just made that up.
There we go.
Only from you.
Yes, is there a motion to adjourn?
Excuse me, really
Wait, we
quick.
gotta
Didn't finish the vote.
Which one did I miss now?
No, we got to vote on 40 still.
Yeah.
We have a
Oh.
motion and a second.
That'd
Then
be
I
nice.
just have a question when we're done with that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Just for clarification purposes, item 43, the deco item, are we holding that until the May 6th meeting or just holding it?
We're holding it till the next meeting.
May 6th?
I believe.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you as well.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, we are adjourned. Thank you for this copy, whoever I got that from. I appreciate that immensely.
Okay.
Well, you should keep that
And
because
Tracy,
you're
so
gonna still
I'm
need it
sure
for the
that
rest
I'm
of
right with what I have here. Can you just verify?
Well, I have all my notes
Okay.
on me.
All right. All right, we are going to call the Public Safety Committee meeting together. Let the record reflect that we have all 5 committee members present. We'll start with item 58, 2025-2033, new operator's license bartender Class D operator application for Asia Bautista.
Bautista.
Hi.
Hi, how are you, Asia?
And how are you?
Good. Thanks for your patience. Asia, you've been before us before, correct? Okay, all right. And we were looking over, I think you were denied in past. Is that correct? Okay. And to bring me up to speed, I believe one of the reasons was you had quite a bit on your record for just not following rules and the law. Kind of lawlessness is what I recall. Could you bring that?
Yeah, so actually, I thought that's what it was, but I was told the day of the hearing that I had an OWI.
Oh, okay.
And I never gotten pulled over, so I was told that anything on my record would not hinder me from getting my license.
Okay.
And then I did, at the time my license was suspended, my driver's license. I rode that day with my boyfriend. He was sleeping in the car after the hearing, so I did drive off. And I was told that that's why I was denied officially.
Okay, so we basically asked you how you got here. You said with the boyfriend?
No.
Or you just drove off afterwards?
Yeah, I drove off after. There was never a question.
Okay.
I was told the day if, we find out that, it is a mistake, then you should be granted your license. I was told that it was in fact a mistake, so I thought I would be getting my license, but then I was told, I think a couple days after that, someone checked the cameras and seen I drove off, and
Okay.
I was denied.
Yeah, it's very important to be very truthful with
Yeah.
us. We give latitude and we understand things, but out and out lies, that doesn't work for us. With that being said, I do see that you now have a valid driver's license, so you must have taken care of fines and whatever you needed to do. Was there any, the OWI was not used, so we corrected that. Where will you be bartending?
Barcode.
Barcode.
Yep, this
Okay, and is it full-time gig or is it just part-time?
Part-time right now. I'm trying to get into full-time.
Okay.
I'm enrolling back in school, so that would help me out
good
with
for you.
kind of extra money.
Good for you. And I'm just going to circle back. This is my opinion. You were truthful in coming back and saying, hey, I wasn't truthful about driving. And whether that was asked or not, you shouldn't have been doing that. The biggest thing that we look at when issuing these licenses is that you're going to work with the police. If you have a problem in the bar, you're going to be able to call them and run your shift appropriately. So I appreciate that you were honest about it, and I have no questions beyond this. Does anyone else?
I move approval.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Good luck, Asia, and good luck with school.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're going to go to item 59, and that is 2025-2092 new operator's license bartender Class D operator application for Scott Stubley. Is Mr. Sibley here?
Not you, John.
Okay, Tracy, was there a call, email, any correspondence? Okay, is there a motion?
Motion to deny based on the applicant's record of 3 OWIs.
Okay, and non-appearance?
And not appearing. Forgot.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. I'm sorry, I haven't asked for discussion on either. I'll correct that on the next one. Now this is item 60, 2025-2059, Class A, B, and C alcohol license renewal applications with changes. I see that it says see attachment for list, and
It's in the packet.
Okay.
So it's Antigua's adding an outdoor premise
Okay.
to their floor plan. And then there's a convenience store who, instead of opening at 9 a.m. Monday through Sunday, wants to open at 8 a.m.
Okay.
I move approval.
All right, there's a motion.
Second.
And there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. I'm sorry, I didn't ask for discussion again.
We would have spoke up.
I know you would have.
Yeah,
Item
exactly.
61, 2025-2224, notification of intention not to renew certain retail alcohol licenses and provide licensee with an opportunity for a hearing. Indebtedness to wholesaler, Wisconsin statute 125-337B and 125-694B, Class A, MDL Express LLC, doing business as Express Pantry, 8530 West Greenfield Avenue.
I move to approve.
Okay, I do have a question, Tracy. This is in Dana.
a second.
and-
Okay, I made a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay.
Now
All right.
that discussion part.
Now we have discussion. Thank you for correcting me. This is in both Alderwoman Keene and my district. Has there been any communication or,
With the licensee? No. So I spoke to the distributor on Friday. She confirmed that indeed they are still delinquent. With this approval tonight, I will send the agent and licensee a letter
okay.
outlining that they're not eligible for renewal until their indebtedness is paid off.
Okay, I wanted to clarify that because they're on the up and up usually. They run a very good business, and I was just concerned, and I saw this, and both Dana and I said we probably should have given them a call. So you will send out the letter. This isn't a done deal?
No, the
Okay.
letter will go out tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other discussion? Nope. Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. And that looks like we are done. Is there a
move we
motion?
adjourn.
Okay. Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
There we go.
Thanks for the assist, Kevin.
Call the meeting back to order.
You can raise your mic.
Yeah, who put it so short? Uh, We will begin with a roll call to make sure everyone's still here.
Alderpersons Grisham. Here. Grobe. Here. Haas.
Here.
Helverson.
Here.
Keen. Here. Novak. Here. Noline. Here. Rote.
Here.
Turner.
Here.
Weigel.
Here.
10 present.
All right, we have a quorum. We will begin with the Administration Committee. There is no voting on the Administration Committee. It was an update, I see, not an action
That's
item.
correct.
Thank you. Then we'll go to Public Works.
All right, Public Works recommends adopting of item 40, passing of items 41, adopting of item 42, holding item 43 until the May 6th meeting, accepting of items 44, and rejection of item 45.
Mayor Devine, I move in accordance of the committee report.
Thank you, Alderman Road. Is there any discussion?
Mayor Devine?
Yes.
43 was held.
Yes.
Is there, I was just curious why.
We're dealing with a dumpster issue at that location, and,
No.
oh, I'm sorry.
Not you. Dan?
Maybe I can explain.
Alderman Rowe?
Oh,
Alderman Rowe, would you like me to chime in?
Yep.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, and, that item was held because we didn't know what was going on.
Okay.
And we didn't have anyone there at the time to discuss it with us, and so we did not feel there was any pressing issue that we could just hold it until the next council meeting.
10-4, thank you.
All right. Any other questions, discussion? All right. If not, I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Alderperson Grisham.
Aye.
Grobe.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Halverson.
Aye.
Keen.
Aye.
Novak.
Aye.
Noline.
Aye.
Rote.
Aye.
Turner.
Aye.
Weigel.
aye.
10 in favor, 0 opposed.
Motion carries. Thank you. Then we'll go to the Economic Development Committee.
Bear with me.
Sure.
We're going to read items 47 and 48 out separately. So the Economic Development Committee recommends the following. Granting of items 46, withdrawal of item 49, denial of items 50, referring item 51 and 52 to the Plan Commission, and adoption of items 53, 54, 55, 56, and 57.
Mayor Devine, I move in accordance with the committee report.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? If not, I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Alderperson Grisham.
Aye.
Grobe.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Halverson.
Aye.
Keen.
Aye.
Novak.
Aye.
Noline.
Aye.
Rote.
Aye.
Turner.
Aye.
Weigel.
Aye.
10 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. And then we have item 47.
All right, so item 47, recommending to grant with the consideration of staff approval regarding the refuse enclosure and the operational hours.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
just to explain for those who weren't present for this, the idea would be that the committee approved it, but then the item would be placed on next meeting's consent agenda upon approval of staff. But if staff does not approve, then it would be placed back on the committee's standing report.
Thank you.
Mayor Devine, I move in accordance of number 47.
Thank you, Alderwoman Keene. Any discussion?
Mayor Devine?
Yes.
This question would be for Kale, for clarity on that. So this would, if you vote no on this, that just, it's not no against the licensing, or is it, it still has to be approved by staff, is what you're saying?
A vote of no would just bring this item back to a pending question, and someone would have to make another motion. A vote of yes would effectively approve this matter, approve the committee's recommendation to place this on the May 6th agenda.
Okay.
The question is where in the agenda it would go for approval. The consent agenda if staff approves, otherwise back on the committee's standing report if staff does not approve.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All right. Do we need a roll call?
It was a separate item.
Okay.
It's going to be approved at the next, potentially, it's going to be on the consent agenda for May 6th. So this was held due to fuse, getting that on order. City staff's gonna make sure that was cleaned up. If it is, then it's going to be placed on the consent agenda. And then if you wanted to vote no, correct me if I'm wrong, at that time, then you would ask for that consent item to be pulled out. If city staff does not approve it, then it's going to be put back on the standing committee report and it's gonna come back in front of economic and development.
So it's
So there's
basically
nothing to
being held.
vote on right now.
Right,
Yep.
it's basically being held then.
Okay.
Am I correct?
Nailed it.
Okay.
The only vote that would take place is procedural, and that's to postpone until May 6th. There's not a final vote on this matter tonight.
So are we taking that vote now?
It would just be an oral vote, yep.
Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? We have 9-1, motion carries. And then we have item 48.
The Economic Development Committee recommends granting of item 48.
Mayor Devine, I move for approval of item 48 per the committee report.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I will ask the clerk to call the roll.
Alderperson Grisham?
No.
Grobe?
Aye.
Haas?
Aye.
Halverson?
Aye.
Keen?
Aye.
Novak?
Aye.
Noline? Aye. Rote?
No.
Turner?
Aye.
Weigel?
Aye.
8 in favor, 2 opposed.
Motion carries. That concludes the Economic Development Committee, and we will go to the Public Safety Committee. Nope.
Public Safety Committee recommends granting of item 58, denial of item 15, hold on, is that right? My numbers are all screwed up, hold on. Granting of item 58, denial of item 59 due to background check and non-appearance, granting of item 60, and approval of item 61.
Mayor Devine, I move for approval of the Public Safety Committee report.
Thank you. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carries.
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Haas,
I move that we adjourn until our next scheduled meeting, May 6th, 2025.
Second.
so motion and a second, all in favor? Anyone opposed? We are adjourned.